All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make these kind of dynamic timers that we're going to use for the classroom of the future. The timers are going to be countdown timers at the beginning of class. Class will begin with remarks from the lead instructor, and then we're going to set the stage to have an even more intense, even more high energy class than we already do. So let's talk about how we do this. So the first thing is, the general way this works is you have a piece of software that writes the whatever data you want to a text file, and then OBS reads that text file. So let's talk about the first thing first. The software we're going to use is something called Snaz. I'll include a download link for this. And what you're going to want to use specifically is the time, date, and countdown, and go to countdown to a specific time. The specific time that you would use it would be the next class, the next for method class. Now, this usually starts out with something like days, minutes, hours, and seconds. You can see that I've shortened it to minutes and seconds because, if we have 5 classes a day, no one's going to want to wait for 7 days for the next class because that would be bizarre. So I've shortened it to minutes and seconds. I want to tell you one other tip that I've done is I added a space before and I added a space after. And I'll explain the reason for that. But basically, if you want to use a script font, a very fancy font, they often kind of take a little bit more space than a normal letter, especially if they're kind of slanty, and they just get clipped. By adding a space before and after, you can prevent that kind of clipping. So Snaz will write this information, continuously write this information to this file, snaz/text file/countdown. So what I'm going to do is I'll copy the file to a clipboard because we're going to need that in a second. Now, in order to create a timer, you need to first start with a text source. So in this case, I create text GDI plus. And then for now, I'll create a new one just to show you the steps that I go through. I go here, and the key thing here is I pick Read from File. Then you're going to click on Browse, and then you're just going to copy and paste that thing from Snaz. So you don't have to memorize the location; just copy it right from the thing, and click Open, and there you go. Now you have that timer that you'll need. All right, so I'm also now going to get rid of that. Now, in order for this to do anything at all, by the way, make sure you do hit start. If you don't hit start, you'll get absolutely nothing. All right, now the next piece of the timers is picking the color. And you can use anything you want to get the color. There's a link that I use online that's a color hex picker, but you can use Photoshop, you can use Illustrator, you can use anything like that that has a color picker on it. And in this case, I basically just picked one of the colors from inside the tie to figure that out. But if you're using a painting, don't try to use just like a default black, because what comes across as black might not actually literally be, it could be a dark gray, a dark purple, a dark brown, it could be all kinds of different colors. So anyway, that's how you do that. Now, if you're using a Mac, I'll show you that in a different video, but these are the components, and that's all it takes to create a pretty cool dynamic timer inside of OBS.